I'm here in the flesh. I bet you missed me. You probably didn't. You probably forgot who I am, but hey, I'm here. What's up? Hey, this is Shiley and you're watching Eat, Breathe Books.
I see you move your lips, but it sounds like gibberish.
Hi everyone, I missed you all so much and it's great to be back making a new video, and this is my August plus September wrap up. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to read much lately, which is really sad. I think we've all been there. I mean, probably, but it sucks. So I read like 4 books in August and like kind of 2.5 in September. I'll explain. But yeah, I'm just gonna get started with the August ones, and a lot of these books I don't have physically with me because I got them from the library. Some of them I'm planning on maybe buying if I find them for cheap, but for right now I don't have a lot of them on me, so sorry, I'm gonna have to insert pictures. Okay, so the first book that I completed in August was The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. This is about a girl who is getting over the death of her sister, and this girl, I think her name is Lenny, yes, she lives with her grandma and her uncle, and it's just about them, you know, getting through the pain and the grief and all of that, and you know, she's having to deal with her sister's boyfriend and this new boy at school, and they're both so different. One of her is kind of trying to drag her back into the sadness, and the other one teaches her kind of how to be happy and free, and I really like this book. I gave it a 4.5 stars instead of 5 because it's not really Jandy Nelson's fault even, so maybe it's not fair of me, but it was just so overhyped. Like, people were thinking about this book for days and crying their eyes out, and while it was so beautiful, I was waiting for this big bam that never really happened, so that's why I gave it a 4.5. Next book that I completed in August was Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson, and this was a really fun read. It's a road trip book about this girl whose father passes away, and her mom decides that they should go and live in a new place, so this girl is basically stuck with this guy who's like a family friend who she doesn't really know so well. They were friends like in childhood, I think, and then this guy Roger basically drives her, Amy, to the new state where she and her mom are supposed to live in, and it's just about growth and acceptance and family and love and so many different things under the sun. It was more than a love story, and I really like it, and I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, and again, like, it was so good, but sometimes I didn't feel like reading it. It fell a little flat for me. It was a little predictable, but it still was really fun, really great. I loved all the little Morgan Matson quirks, like, you know, her playlist and stuff, which she also put into Since You've Been Gone, which I read earlier in the summer. And all in all, it was a very fun read, and it was more than just fun. It was really nice. So yeah. What is that? Okay, and the third book that I completed in August should not really come off as a surprise to you guys if you've seen my videos before, and that's Isla, and the Happily Ever After by Miss Stephanie Perkins. This is the third and final book in the Anna, Lola, Isla, Anna and the French Kiss, like, companion trilogy, I guess you could say. And this one takes place back in the boarding school in Paris with Josh, who's a friend of Etienne, and this girl named Isla, who we got a little introduction of in the first book, and it is beautiful. It was really good, really funny, really heartfelt. I cried a lot, and I just really like it. It's definitely, you know, growing up, coming of age type of story as well, I think, and it was fun. It was just, I love reading boarding school books. I love this series. Stephanie Perkins is a great writer. Like, I can really visualize everything. There are a lot of really cool elements in here, so I would check it out if you haven't yet, which, if you haven't yet, we gotta talk, but you know, check it out if you haven't. It's really good. So 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read, I also have a physical copy of, and that's Easy by Tamara Weber. I don't really want to say much about this without giving anything away, and before I went into this book pretty blind, and you know, the only thing I knew was like this girl and guy meet and he's pronounced her savior in some way. Please don't think of it like that. Just read it. I don't really want to give anything away, but it does deal with a very serious topic, and from what I read, I think that it was done really well. It brought up a lot of really important points everybody should be really aware of. For that, I would definitely recommend that you read this book. On the other hand, I think that the love story between the two protagonists fell a little flat. I think that I don't really feel like it was love. I feel like it was more like something else, and it's a little bit of a mature book too, which I wasn't really expecting or liking. So their relationship was cute and all, but it wasn't, you know, monumental, and I wouldn't call them my OTP. But it was a very important book, and for that reason I would say give it a try if you're old enough. And I give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I also don't have a physical copy of, and that's the Fillin Boyfriend by Cassie West, or Cassie West. This is actually the first book that I read by her, but she has like 5 books out, and wow, this was not your average contemporary romance. This was so much more than that. It was so good. It was like, everybody just grew up so much. Basically, the gist of it, if you don't know, is this girl gets dumped by her boyfriend in the parking lot of prom because she is kind of selfish. And so he dumps her, leaves her, she's stranded there, finds a random guy in a car and says, hey, will you go to prom with me? And he's like, okay. And so they kind of walk into prom together, and it's whole charade, and they keep, you know, meeting up and like happening to get together and everything, and like it's just great. It's just really, really great. It's about friendship and about love, and a lot of character development. The main character really, really just goes through a wonderful journey, and the characters were very 3D, and she is great. Like, Cassie West is a really, really good writer, so I would definitely check it out, and I gave that 5 out of 5 stars. Lastly, I read something very, very exciting, which I also got from the library, but I'm definitely planning on buying a copy for myself when I can, and that's The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know if you guys watched, I think, my previous video, which I guess was kind of a while ago, but I said that I've been having a hard time getting back into like fantasy, and this is a fantasy book about Welsh mythology, basically, and just the characters are 3D, and it's wonderful, and this book literally got me back into fantasy, made me want to read more. Like, it was just so good, and I don't want to give so much away, so just read it if you haven't yet. Please read it. Not only did I get back into fantasy because of this book, but it made me want to marathon. Like, I haven't marathoned a series, let alone a fantasy series, since The Mortal Instruments a couple of years back. And I'm reading The Dream Thieves now, and it's so good. So those are all the books I completed in August and September. I also read part of The Dream Thieves in September, and I'm finishing it now in October. And I've also been listening to the audiobook of Yes Please by Amy Poehler, because I'm obsessed with Parks and Rec right now, and I love Amy Poehler. And so I started listening to that in September, and I guess I'll finish it sometime in October. I'm not in a rush, you know, I just listen to it when I'm on the bus and stuff like that. So that's my wrap up. I'm hoping to have a better reading month in October, and just thank you guys so much for watching. Comment below what you're currently reading, and follow me on social media if you haven't yet, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. I've also been listening to the audio. Oh, by the way, do you guys want to see like a clothing haul? Because I'm up to do that if you guys want, so yeah.